Hello everyone, this is Shauna, and today we're going to be working through the Wireshark 101 course in TryHackMe. This was a really great course to get familiarized with Wireshark. The first 6 tasks are just reading comprehension, so I'm not going to be going through those with you. So task number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, they're just ones where they want you to read through and get a better understanding of what's going on in Wireshark, and then you just click that you've read it, the question's done. So we're going to jump right into task number 7 about ARP packet analysis. And just to kind of give you a little bit of an overview of what ARP is the protocol where the logical addresses are translated and matched up to their physical MAC address. So ARP is it's matching up IP addresses to MAC addresses. And we'll find this by analyzing the network layer of the OSI model. And when the information is collected, so the router sends out the ARP message of like who has this IP address and tell this other IP address. And they will give the MAC address back to this. This information is stored in ARP cache, which is a table for future reference. And so the important thing to understand about ARP requests is that it's nothing but a broadcasting of a packet over the network to validate whether it comes from the destination MAC address or not. And so the response is that device letting the source know where it's at, saying, hey, this is me, and it makes further communication easier and quicker between those two devices. And so this is important for penetration testers and forensics people to understand, because there is a exploit called ARP spoofing or ARP poisoning, where forged ARP requests are bombarded on a switch to overload it, and then they can sniff all network packets because it starts having to send out packets everywhere instead of one particular destination, because it doesn't know who's at what MAC address anymore. So it has to start sending all those ARP requests out again. And so ARP poisoning, it uses man in the middle to poison the network. And so that's why it's really important for us to understand this. So let's get started down here. I just wanted to give you a little bit of that kind of background. So what they want us to do, actually, sorry, let me go right back up, is we need to download the task files for this. And so I believe it's just downloaded. There it goes. I'm going to get my Wireshark started. Okay. And let me just resize this a little bit so we can kind of go side by side here. And so what you're going to do is you're going to go to File, and you're going to go to Open, and you're going to find what you just downloaded. So mine, I'm going to go over to Downloads, and you can search for the type of file. This one was a PCAP file, and so this was it right here, NB6 startup. Click Open, and it populates all that data into Wireshark, and you could start looking at all these different packets and getting information on it. So let's go down and let's find out what they are looking for in particular. So they're asking, what is the OP code for packet 6? So we can go in here, we can go to packet 6, and then we can go down into the address resolution protocol, and we see the OP code right here is request 1. And so something that's really easy to do in Wireshark is you can right click and you can go to copy, and then in copy you can go down to value and it'll take the value. And so this is a really simple one, so it's not really important for us, but once we get to more complicated responses, that's going to be important to do. So request 1 was the answer for that one. So the next one is, what is the source MAC address of packet 19? So let's just go over here to packet 19, and let's just go, the sender MAC address is right here, and that's 80 FB06 F045D7. So again, you can just right click, copy, and then get the value, and it'll copy that value, and you can very easily put it in there with no typos. Okay, so what 4 packets are reply packets? So there's all these different packets in here. There's certain ones that are ARP. Some of them are ARP requests, and some of them are going to be ARP replies. So what we want to do, we found out that the ARP, let's just click on one of these real quick so that you can see. And so we can see that the request 1 is for an ARP request. And so request 2, if you want to do a little bit of research, is if it says 2 in here, that would be the reply. So what we can do up here is we can come up here to a filter, and we can put in arp.op code, and we could put equals, 2 equal signs, and we could put 2. And so that is going to filter out all the ones that are actual replies, and we can go in there and we can see that the number is 76, 400, 459, and 520. So that's the answer for right there. Don't put any spaces in there. If you put spaces, you won't get the correct answer, and you'll be really confused as to why it's not working, and it's just because you have some extra spaces. So let's go down here. We can see that by looking at all these, it's asking us what is the IP address at that MAC address. And so if we are right here, we can see that the IP address is 10.251.231. And then we could also see that in down here, the MAC address associated with that number is the sender's IP address is that right there. So those are the 2 different places that you can find it. So let's go on to ICMP traffic, and let's download the task files for that. This is a pcapng file. I don't know if you could see it down there, so I want to be careful to pay attention to that. So again, a little bit of background on ICMP. ICMP can be used in an attack called ICMP tunneling, where an exploit can be sent in an INCP packet to kind of obfuscate the malicious network behavior. It hides it inside an IMCP packet. So the malicious data will be injected into what looks like a ping request, basically, or a trace route. And it looks like it's just a very regular echo or echo reply for like a ping request, but actually embedded inside the data layer of that packet is malicious data. So a network administrator will think that this is a very innocuous activity of the router, unless they were to do a deeper forensic analysis of this traffic. So it can be really hard to mitigate this, because you can't just temporarily shut down ICMP traffic without causing major productivity disruptions, because you're basically telling your router it can't do half of what it wants to do. So it's really important to try to find these, and that's what this task is going to test us on. So this one was called DNS ICMP. So I'm going to go up here to File, and again we're going to go to Open, and I'm going to go in my Downloads folder, and for the type of file, I'm going to choose the type of file it was. It was this pcapng file, and so I can find it right there and click to open it. And it's got my old filter from the last one, so it's filtering out the information. So if you don't get anything, make sure to clear out all your filters. And here we see all the ICMP ping requests, the requests and the replies. So that's what INCP packet traffic looks like in Wireshark. So let's go down and let's try to answer some of these questions. So what is the type for packet 4? So we look at packet 4, and then we look over here in this Internet Control Message Protocol, ICMP, and it says type is 8, which is a ping request. And now it's asking what is the type for packet 5. So packet 5 is 0, which is the ping reply. So remember, 8 is the request and 0 is the reply. What is the timestamp for packet 12, only including the month, day, and year? So let's go down to packet number 12, and let's see the date of this. And we see that the timestamp for the IMCP data is May 30th, 2013. And it's important to understand how to look at timestamp data. There's things that you can do where you can actually filter and look at things in terms of seconds and how long these requests are taking, so you can see if you're having traffic slow down. So it's important to kind of understand how to look at timestamp data and interpret it. What is the full data string for packet 18? So I'm going to go down here to packet 18, and we're going to go down here, and this one actually has a data layer. And so inside, why is there a data layer inside a ping request? And so again, this is where You don't want to copy all this into TryHackMe on your own. So this is where that little trick that I'm teaching you, where you hover over the data that you want to copy, right click, go to copy, and then go down to value, and it will copy all the value so you can paste it into there, and you'll get the correct answer. So I hope that was informative for you guys. Let's move on to TCP traffic. This one is just another reading comprehension one, and you just need to say question done and then move on to task number 10. So on task number 10, I'm going to go back up here so that I can download the task files. This one's actually the same one as ICMP. It's just we're going to be looking at these DNS records rather than the ICMP records. So let's scroll down. Let me close these out so we can see more. Okay, what is being queried in packet 1? So before we go on to this, I just want to talk a little bit about DNS. So DNS is the records that associate web addresses like www.google.com with its IP address, like 8.8.8.8. And when a hacker hijacks your DNS, they're able to basically intercept your entire web traffic and email communications. So when a person types in your web address, it's going to route to the hacker servers instead, and then they'll forward it onto your own so that the person can feel like they're actually going to the legitimate website. But all that traffic is basically, it's like a giant man-in-the-middle type of an exploit. So it's important to be able to see when DNS records are being manipulated and maybe there's more information in them that should be in them. So let's answer this question. What is being queried in packet 1? In packet 1, we click on it, and then we can go down here to the domain name system query. And right here it shows queries. We can do the little drop down there, and this is the address that they want right here, this full one right here, 8.8.8 in address.arpa. So again, right click, copy, get the value, and then you can paste it in there and delete out the portion that you don't need. What site is being queried in packet 26? So let's go over here to packet 26. And we can go again on I already had it open, so let's just say this wasn't open for you guys. You'd go under domain name system, and you'd go under queries, and you'd see that they're querying wireshark.org. That's the answer there. What is the transaction ID for packet 26? And so right here again in domain name system tab, right there, domain name system, you see a transaction ID. And again, right click, copy, value, makes it easy to copy that value into there. All right, so that was the section on DNS traffic. Let's go on to HTTP traffic. And so of course, HTTP traffic is not encrypted. There's a lot of things that we can do with it. So it's really important to know how to analyze data from HTTP traffic. And let me just scroll down here to the questions that they're wanting. Open. And again, it's in my download section. This one was a regular just cap file. It wasn't pcap, it was cap. So I'm gonna open it. And we've got all this HTTP and TCP data. So what percent of packets originate from domain name system? Okay, so in this question, there is actually a way that you can go to statistics, and you can go to protocol hierarchy, and it shows you the breakdown of all the different types of packets that are in here. And so we can see that the domain name system protocol is about 4.7% of the packets in this capture analysis. So that's the answer there, is 4.7. What endpoint ends in 0.237? So let's go, I'm just going to HTTP, let's see, 237. This is an endpoint, the destination, 237, and so it's 145.254.160.237. That's the answer right there. What is the user agent listed in packet 4? So if I click on packet 4, and we go under the hypertext transfer protocol, we can see that the user agent is this entire thing, Mozilla yada yada gecko. So again, right click, copy, and then get the value, and then you can paste that all in there without having to type that out on your own. So now it says, look at the data stream. What is the full request URI from packet 18? So if we go to packet 18, and again, we are in the Hypertext Transfer Protocol section, we can scroll down and we see this full request URI. So again, just right click, copy value to copy that, and then you can paste that right into there. What domain name was requested from packet 38? So if we click on 38, and we could look down in the Hypertext Transfer Protocol, and we can see that it was trying to get the request URI was this URL right here. So again, right click, copy value, and then you can paste it into here because that was the full request URI and that was the domain name. So that completes the HTTP traffic portion. Let's move on to HTTPS traffic, and let's download the task files. This one was a zip file. So you've got to open the zip file, and there's something that you're going to have to do to load in. So let me go to, I'm going to pause real quick because I'm going to open up my files. Okay, so when you first come in here and you bring in for task number, I think we're on 12, let's see, task number 12, when you first import the data from the snake oil folder zip file, it's all encrypted, so we're not going to be able to see a lot of information right there. So first thing that we have to do is we have to import the key so we can decrypt the TSL traffic. So we want to go to edit, and we want to go down to preferences, and they give us information on how to do that right up here, I believe. Yeah, right in this section they tell you what to do. So over in preferences, we want to go down to protocols, and we're going to scroll down all the way to TLS. So let's just keep scrolling, and there's a lot here. So let's go to TLS. So once you click on TLS, you go over here to RSA keys list and you click edit, and you want to put in 172.0.0.1, and for the port you want to do start_TLS, and in the protocol you want to push HTTP, and I've changed the location of mine, so I actually need to delete this, and come on, let's go in here, key file, let me see. Well, let me do it here. There we go. And so you want to import that key file from the snake oil zip file that you downloaded into there, and then click OK. And then we're going to click OK, and now it has been transformed, and we can see all this HTTPS data that was encrypted before. So now let's go down to answering some of these questions. So looking at the data stream, what is the full request URI for packet 31? So let's go down here to packet 31, and here I'm going to close all these up so you can see what it looks like when you first come to it. So we're on packet 31 and the Hypertext Transfer Protocol, scroll that down, and the full request URI should be right here. So again, right click, copy, value, and then you can paste it right into here. Looking at the data stream, what is the full request URI for packet 50? So let's go down to packet 50, and it kind of, because I was right there before, it went right to it. So I'm going to close this back up so people can see again. You want to go into the Hypertext Transfer Protocol, you want to scroll down, and it gives you the full request URI right there. So again, you can go right click, copy, value, and you copy it and you can paste it right into there. What is the user agent listed in packet 50? So let's go up here to the user agent. We're in that same section under the Hypertext Transfer Protocol, and it shows user agent right here. Right click, copy, value, and you can paste that all into there because they want the full information here with the Mozilla, Gecko, and Firefox to go there into that field. So we've done that section. Let's move on to analyzing exploit PCAPs. So we're going to download this task file. This was 0 logon PCAP. And let's just scroll down. It shows how to do some SMB analysis. We're going to be looking at SMB traffic. And this one you don't really have to do anything. It's just showing you how to get familiar with it. So I'm going to leave that for you guys. And the conclusion again is just where you can go to read more about Wireshark documentation. This is really great because they show you all the different kind of filters that you can place on your traffic, kind of like we did with the ARP OP code. All the different kind, you can filter by IP address by doing like IP.ADDR and then equals to whatever IP address that you want to analyze. So the documentation is really great, and I recommend that you all take some time to go take a look at it. So that is the conclusion for this tutorial. I hope that you guys were able to make it through. Leave me any comments or criticisms or questions if you're stuck on anything, and I'd be happy to help you out. Until next time, you guys, happy hacking.